The moment Metro revealed Alex Eala as the face of its homecoming special, the message landed with quiet force. The Filipino tennis star was no longer drawing attention only because of what she could do with a racket. She had become someone whose presence could hold the spotlight even when there was no court, no scoreboard, and no opponent standing across the net. That is what makes this cover different. Just weeks earlier, Eala had produced a historic Wimbledon run. She defeated defending champion Iga Swiatek and became the first player from the Philippines to reach the second week of a Grand Slam. That achievement matters here, but not because this is a Wimbledon story. It matters because it gave the Metro feature real weight. Eala was not being presented as a promising talent who might one day become important. She arrived at the shoot after proving she already belonged on one of tennis's largest stages. Then the setting changed completely. The grass of center court gave way to Palacio de Memoria, a historic Manila mansion filled with antique details and the atmosphere of another era. Tennis whites were replaced by Filipino designer fashion. The competitive focus fans had seen during her matches was still present, but now it appeared through posture, expression, and the quiet confidence of someone completely at ease in front of a camera. Metro called the feature a homecoming, and that single word gives the images their emotional center. Eala's professional life is international by nature. The tour moves constantly, pulling players from one country to another and reducing their public identities to rankings, draws, and weekly results. This feature reverses that movement. It brings her back into a distinctly Filipino setting and presents a global success through the culture that made the achievement mean so much at home. At first glance, it might look like another athlete enjoying a glamorous fashion shoot after a major breakthrough. Sports stars appear in magazines all the time. Most of those appearances do not feel culturally important. They are promotional moments, polished, attractive, and quickly replaced by the next campaign. This one feels different because Metro is not simply showing that Eala can wear designer clothing. The cover is showing that her public identity has become large enough to exist beyond tennis. That is the real shift. A historic victory can make an athlete famous for a week. It can produce headlines, social media clips, and a sudden rush of curiosity. Cultural influence begins when people remain interested after the result has been recorded. They want to know who the athlete is, what she represents, and why her journey feels important even when she is not actively competing. Eala has reached that stage because her story carries meaning on several levels at once. Tennis fans see a young left-handed player breaking into territory no Filipino singles player had reached before. Filipino viewers see their country becoming visible in a sport traditionally dominated by nations with far deeper tennis histories. Younger athletes see someone who makes the path toward elite competition feel less distant than it once did. Metro turns those meanings into a single image. The publication did not create her importance. The tennis came first. The years of training, the difficult travel, the losses, and the breakthrough victories gave the public a reason to care. What Metro recognized was that the attention surrounding her had started to change. People were no longer watching only to discover whether she could win another match. They were beginning to view her as a personality with cultural value of her own. That does not mean one magazine cover officially makes her a national icon. Her career is still being built, and any claim that her legacy is already complete would move far ahead of the evidence. But it is fair to read this feature as recognition that she is beginning to enter the kind of public space often reserved for the Philippines' most visible entertainment, fashion, and cultural personalities. The athlete is now the cover star, and Metro does not ask her to leave tennis behind in order to belong there. Instead, the feature uses every visual choice, the historic location, the Filipino designs, and the deliberate contrast between formal fashion and athletic identity, to explain why Alex Eala can occupy both worlds without appearing out of place. That is where the cover becomes more than a celebration. It becomes a statement about the kind of figure she is becoming. The clearest version of that statement can be found in one styling choice. An elegant black gown by Filipino designer Mark Bumgarner is paired not with traditional formal shoes but with Nike sneakers. It is a simple contrast, yet it tells almost the entire story. Metro could have transformed Eala into a conventional fashion personality, separating the woman in the photographs from the athlete people had watched at Wimbledon. Instead, the styling keeps both identities in the same frame. The gown brings elegance and drama. The sneakers preserve the connection to movement, training, and competition. Neither side weakens the other. That matters because female athletes are still too often presented through a false choice. They may be celebrated as strong, disciplined competitors, or they may be framed as feminine and fashionable, as though those qualities cannot belong to the same person without contradiction. Eala's cover quietly refuses that idea. She does not become less serious as an athlete because she looks comfortable in high fashion. And the clothing does not become less elegant because the styling acknowledges the physical world she comes from. The image works precisely because Metro does not hide the athlete underneath the dress. Her strength gives the fashion meaning that is also visible in the way Eala carries herself. She is not posing like someone trying to imitate a professional model's identity. The control in her posture, the directness of her gaze, and the confidence in the way she occupies the space all feel connected to years of elite competition. The camera is capturing a different side of her, but it is not inventing a different person. This gives the feature a stronger message than a standard celebrity makeover. It presents athletic strength as something that belongs inside modern beauty rather than something fashion needs to soften, conceal, or temporarily ignore. The point is not that Eala must become a symbol for every possible version of womanhood. No single athlete should carry that responsibility. But the cover gives young women a useful image. Someone can be disciplined, physically powerful, ambitious, stylish, and visibly feminine without needing to choose which identity makes her more acceptable. That message becomes even more powerful because Metro places it inside Palacio de Memoria. The historic mansion is not simply an expensive-looking background. It creates a visual relationship between the Philippines' cultural past and a young athlete associated with its sporting future. The building carries memory, tradition, and an older idea of national identity. Eala stands inside it as evidence that the next chapter may be written in a completely different field. There is no long Philippine tradition of producing elite Grand Slam singles players. Eala's rise therefore feels different from the emergence of another talented American, Spanish, or Czech player. In established tennis nations, a breakthrough athlete enters a story that already exists. In Eala's case, she is helping create the story while living it. That is why the homecoming theme works so well. She is not returning merely as a successful individual who happens to be Filipino. She is returning as someone whose international achievements have expanded what Filipino tennis can represent. The Filipino fashion strengthens that connection. So does the location. So does the fact that the styling never turns her into a culturally anonymous global celebrity. She is shown as international but unmistakably rooted. This is a major reason her appeal can travel beyond dedicated tennis audiences. A serious tennis fan may understand Eala through her left-handed patterns, her return game, or her ability to redirect pace. A casual viewer may know only that she produced a historic victory on center court. A fashion audience may first encounter her through the black gown and sneakers. A young Filipina may simply see someone from her country occupying a space that looks important, polished, and globally visible. Those audiences are not responding to the same detail, but they are being drawn toward the same person. That widening reach is where the Metro cover becomes commercially relevant as well. There are no reliable public figures proving exactly how much Eala's market value changed after Wimbledon, so it would be wrong to attach a number to the effect. But the logic is straightforward. Brands look for athletes who combine achievement, recognition, identity, and audience connection. Eala now has all four. She can appear in a performance campaign because the public recognizes her as a serious competitor. She can carry a fashion feature because her presence does not disappear outside sportswear. She has a clear national story, growing international visibility, and a young audience that can follow her career for years rather than months. That range makes her more than a successful endorsement candidate. It makes her an unusually flexible public figure. The larger impact, however, may come from what her visibility makes imaginable. Professional sports can feel almost abstract to young girls in countries without many internationally successful women in a particular field. They may see global stars, but those stars belong to another sporting system, another culture, and a path that appears impossible to reproduce. Eala shortens that distance. Her journey is still exceptional, and it should never be presented as easy. But the fact that a 21-year-old Filipina can compete deep into a Grand Slam and then become the center of a major lifestyle feature changes the public image of what an athletic career can lead to. Success is not being treated as a private accomplishment hidden inside sports pages. It is being recognized in mainstream culture. This time the athlete does not stand beside the celebrity. The athlete is the celebrity. That shift could help tennis attract new viewers, encourage greater respect for women pursuing elite sports, and make sponsors take the Philippine audience more seriously. None of those outcomes can be guaranteed from a single cover, but the feature provides visible evidence that a female tennis player from Southeast Asia possesses cultural and commercial appeal on a scale usually associated with entertainment figures. And Metro achieves that without reducing Eala to a product. The strongest images do not say, "Look how different she can become." They say, "Look how much already exists inside the same person." The gown and sneakers are not competing symbols. The historic mansion and young athlete are not opposing ideas. The global tennis player and Filipino identity are not pulling her in separate directions. Every part of the feature works because those contrasts are allowed to coexist. That is the deeper reason Alex Eala steals the spotlight. She is not stepping outside her identity to claim attention in a new world. She is bringing the full weight of that identity with her and discovering that it belongs there. The spotlight will now follow Eala back to the place where her public identity was built in the first place. The tennis court. That transition is important because a magazine cover and a professional season operate on completely different timelines. A cover captures one polished moment. Tennis demands that a player begin again every week against opponents who study her patterns and care nothing about the attention waiting outside the stadium. That does not weaken the meaning of Metro's homecoming special. It clarifies it. The feature is not valuable because it promises that Eala will immediately win her next tournament or arrive at the US Open transformed by national recognition. No one outside her team can measure how a homecoming, a photo shoot, or the reaction of Filipino fans will affect her competitive mindset. The more reasonable conclusion is that she returns to the North American hard courts with a larger audience and a different public status than the one she carried before Wimbledon. More people now know her name. Some discovered her through a historic victory. Others may first notice her through Metro, Filipino fashion, or the striking image of a tennis player wearing a formal gown with sneakers. Many of those people will never study a WTA draw or understand every tactical detail of her game. But a recognizable face can become an entry point into a sport that previously felt distant. A young fan who sees the cover may later stop when Eala appears on television. A family that never followed professional tennis may begin checking her results. A sponsor that once viewed tennis as a limited market in the Philippines may look again after seeing how easily Eala connects sports, fashion, and national pride. That is how cultural visibility can support athletic growth without replacing it. Eala's future influence will still depend heavily on the substance of her career. She does not need to repeat a historic victory every week, but she will need to keep developing as opponents learn more about her. The tour will test her consistency, her physical recovery, and her ability to adjust when the patterns that produced earlier success are no longer enough. Those are the ordinary demands of becoming established at the top level. They are also what will keep the story grounded. The danger would be to treat the Metro cover as proof that the journey is already complete. It is not. But the opposite mistake would be to dismiss the feature as superficial because it happened away from competition. Sports influence has never been created by results alone. The athletes who remain meaningful to the public usually connect performance with something larger. Identity, representation, style, or a sense that their achievements have opened a door for other people. Eala is beginning to form that connection. For Philippine tennis, her visibility can make the sport easier to find. For young women, it presents athletic ambition as something that can be respected rather than hidden behind more traditional ideas of success. For the wider Southeast Asian region, Her rise offers evidence that a player from outside tennis's traditional power centers can command international attention without surrendering the culture she represents. One cover cannot build training facilities, fund junior development, or guarantee that another player will follow her path. But it can change the image people carry in their minds. Before Eala, elite Filipino singles tennis was largely an idea without a visible modern example. Now there is a face, a name, and a journey unfolding in public. That is real cultural value, and it explains why Metro's timing feels so precise. The magazine did not wait until her career was over and turn her achievements into nostalgia. It captured her during the transition, after she had produced undeniable sporting evidence, but while the larger meaning of her rise was still taking shape. The historic mansion represents what came before. The young athlete represents what may come next. The Filipino designs keep the story rooted. The sneakers remind viewers that every glamorous image still rests on the work done on a tennis court. Metro did not create the phenomenon surrounding Alex Eala. It recognized the moment when her results, identity, and public appeal began reinforcing one another. That is why this is more than a fashion cover. But it is also why the message does not need to be exaggerated. Eala has not reached the end of the journey, and no magazine can decide whether she becomes a lasting icon. What the cover can do is reveal how the conversation has changed. Alex Eala is no longer simply a tennis player people notice when she produces a major result. She has become someone capable of carrying attention from center court into Filipino popular culture, without losing the identity that made the public care in the first place. The cover is not the final proof of her legacy. It is the clearest sign yet that her spotlight now extends far beyond the baseline. If this look at the moment a tennis breakthrough became cultural recognition resonated with you, make sure you are subscribed to Tennis Diaries. Turn on notifications so you never miss the stories that sit behind the rankings and the scorelines. Drop a comment and tell us what the Metro cover means to you. Fashion statement, national milestone, or something larger. The spotlight has expanded. The next chapter will be written back on court, and we will be there for every step.